and we're gonna stop. We only were at a couple minutes, so we're good to go. So I'll start now, and you can kick things off again. Go for it.
So sorry about that. The internet here is like really shitty. So very nice to meet you all. My name is Lou and I'm the founder of SmileWide. Our goal is to make digital dentures more affordable and accessible for Canadians. And the way that I started this idea was that after my graduation, I went through a series of rotation. One of these rotations was in a low-income clinic. People would come in, get their teeth removed, and then they would have no other option to replace those gaps in their smile. Dentures are very expensive. They're usually $1,200 to $2,000. And if you're missing top and lower teeth, you're then stuck with having to fork up twice that amount. So before we start, I like to start with a little bit of humor. I'm going to show you an image, and can you please tell me what is going on and what is wrong with this image? So here we go. You see a man here. He's obviously missing a tooth, but did you also see that he's missing his eyebrow? Yeah, so that's how important a smile is. It's also central to a person's overall well-being, mental and social. So let's get in the gist of it. What is a denture? So a denture is just like a prosthetic leg. It's there to replace what's missing and trying to reestablish function too. It's never going to be as great as the original thing. So you would wear a full denture if you're replacing all your teeth, or a partial denture if you're missing only a few teeth. In that case, it's almost like a harness that's supporting the tooth, the framework. So that's also why I put the picture here. You see the metal there, and it's not necessarily the most aesthetic thing. When somebody smiles, you definitely see that. So in terms of trend, partial dentures are also the bread and butter of denture clinics because people lose less and less teeth completely. So usually with oral care and increase in awareness, people take better care of their teeth. So we do mostly partial dentures, and only 6% of Canadians are fully edentulous and wear full dentures. So the problem is that denture care and dental care in general is very expensive. So when it comes to that, 6 million Canadian will avoid going to the dentist and leading to tooth loss. Also, dentures are very expensive, and only a third of Canadian don't have dental insurance. And unless you have a really Gucci plan, you're probably only getting a certain percentage covered. So 20 to 50% is usually the norm. Better coverage exists, but usually it's only a very not a significant percentage. So the impact is that low income earners and Canadian without dental insurance lack affordable dentures. And it's also very important to underline that even people who have dentures need them replaced every 5 to 7 years. A lot of times people will use the teeth on the denture and then their face will start to sag. So a lot of older ladies, don't need Botox, they really need a new pair of dentures. So our solution to that is an affordable pop-up denture clinic, actually a set of them as much as we can, which will combine in-person service and virtual care. So we're doing things better in two ways. One, we're offering digital dentures as our product, but also we're changing the way that we're delivering the service. We're using pop-up clinics where we will schedule people in and they will come at specific times. So we know that this day we're expecting X amount of people coming in so that they're high efficiency and high yield. And by combining all of this, we're able to offer dentures at 70% of the cost compared to our main competitors, which are dental offices and denturists. So you're like, okay, that's great. How do you do that? So let's get into the gist of it too. Our process. So we start with a virtual consultation. We make sure that we're the right fit for the person. That person can also ask any question that they have regarding dentures, and we'll be happy to answer it. And then dentures really are made with 3 steps. So one, you take impression, you make the denture, and you deliver the denture. So in that second step, we then meet the person at one of the pop-up clinics, and then we will go ahead and scan that person's mouth. And what's really fun about nowadays with digital is that you really don't need that much to have a functioning denture clinic. So my clinic can really consist of me, my laptop, and my intraoral scanner. So it's something this big, a little wand that you can go ahead and scan your teeth, and that will give you a really good, precise impression of that person's mouth. And so it's literally what you see on the image there, plug and scan, or I like to say plug and play. And the magic with doing it digitally is that previously you would take an impression, you would get 2 stone casts, and you're like, okay, well, that's it. Like, I don't know what's their relationship, how they open, how they close. It's just, okay, it's a good representation. But With digital, we're able to grasp the occlusion of that person. So recreate their bite, which is going to be super important for later. So let me show you how it works. So this is how you can scan a person's mouth. We've already done that, but look at the way that we can recreate that person's occlusion. So we can pre-trim the dentures that get delivered to the person to reduce our time of adjustment and to have a better fit overall. So precision of the data is absolutely crucial to our process. And then the next step would be our delivery. So we've decided to do our delivery in person just because it's a little bit simpler and people understand better, but 90% of the adjustment is done. So it takes us very little time to deliver the denture. On top of delivering a denture, everything is done through a mix of virtual and teledentistry. So I would be virtually guiding my staff too. So it's a remote guidance kind of thing. So my assistants are perfectly capable of administrating, taking impression and delivering denture, but it's more like a legality issue. And also I would be virtually present in the clinic to make sure if there's any issue or harder question that arise. And we're also giving a adjustment kit to the person, and no office will do that. An adjustment kit really helps the person adjust little spots of their gums as their gums will shift a little bit after the delivery of the denture. So it's part education, part giving them the freedom of doing that without having to come back and see us. And just a little kind of polish on the denture, and they're not damaging any of the teeth or anything like that. But just a little bit of a little polish will solve, a lot of issue, and they won't have to, again, do a lot of appointments with us. So our difference is digital dentures. They're a better fit, lower cost. So when it comes to lower cost, I can produce a denture at $30, whereas you would traditionally send the denture to a lab, and that would be around $600. So a lot of decrease when it comes to price. We can make our dentures without metal, so very aesthetics. And this is done through milling or printing. So we design the denture, and everything is done with computer aided assistance. So this is kind of like the result that we're able to get. Beautiful, can match the person's smile. We can integrate it and change it to that person's liking. We only offer two types of denture, one type of partial, one type of full, just to limit the production and also ensure cost and quality. For our flexible denture, you can see it here. It is flexible. It's really cool. We've plopped it in. It's super comfortable, and it's something that's been used for ages. That's been present in the denture world, but people usually go less towards it just because denturists or dentists are not familiar with the process, but it's a Velplast denture that is in existence since the 70s. So it's trusted and tested. And also we have our 3D printed denture. Back in the day, if you would have asked me if the conventional dentures are better than the printed dentures, I would have said, yeah, maybe. But after smashing 20 dentures of our own, we kind of came to the conclusion that ours is perhaps a little bit better, certainly more strong, because our resin is infused with nano ceramic. So that allows them to be a lot more resistant. So our business model: virtual care, pop-up clinic, digital processing, and 3D printing and milling. When it comes to the market, a huge market driven by need for post-operative care. So that's dentures. And also people want higher quality with technology. They expect more from dental clinics too. And tooth decay is also rising amongst younger population. With our total addressable market, we're looking at $405 billion market, and our advantage is very low pricing and low overheads. The local market, let's look at it. So we have denturists and dentures, but I've also added online denture providers, because since we're doing a little bit of online too, why not, you could go full online and, get your dentures through the mail. And that's a possibility. So if you look at a dentist, it's a one-stop shop for all dental treatment, but it's very expensive, and they use an external lab. So you're forking that bill. Denturist is the same thing. They're also forking that bill. And also a denturist that is really good is also somewhat of a dying profession. They're not a profession that's really growing. And also, while your online dentures are cool, they have low prices, but they're mostly based in US. There's no providers here in Canada. So you're shipping it there, shipping it back with the processing fee. And also there's no feedback with that person, and good luck also for a refund too. Where we are right now. So we've done 20 test customers from March to September. We've gotten a lot of information. So 16 total partial dentures, 9 full dentures, improve the way that we do things, improve the way that we scan too. Everything was done at a market penetration pricing of $480 for the partial denture. And at that price, we're getting 54% of net profit percentage because our cost of good is still half of it. Whereas the full denture at 620, we are looking at much higher overheads here. So, sorry, much higher profit margins here. So, but we can do better. So this is our strategy when it comes to go to market. We're looking at pricing our partial denture at 650 and the full dentures at 730. So I had somebody tell me, hey, I haven't paid $600 for a denture, like I did that 20 years ago. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what we're going for. So again, the net profit that we would be making on a partial denture $480 and on a full denture $574, which is pretty good. But we're always looking to drive down that price. So what we're doing is that we're partnering with people who have mills. So for example, Dr. Robert Liu, and we're trying to get those competitive pricing and to push our production costs down, I mean. And then we are also using there are newer resins coming onto the market that we can use and drive our cost lower too as time goes. So a cost projection of a pop-up clinic. So just kind of like run in your head how that would work. So we would start it by opening every weekend. So once it's open, it's running every weekend. I only need 3 dental assistant to run it, and I'd be remote supervising. Or the way that we would go also is a denturist supervising 2 dental assistant, and they would be working at a long day, but at a very competitive rate. And we would have 16 patients book. And we would all confirm these people the week before, 60-minute appointment per patient, which is a lot of time for those people to get that thing done, ask questions, and really be comfortable with the process. The estimated profit would be around 7K, and then the expenses would be around $2,000. So that leaves us with a projected profit of around $5,000 per day, and so around 11 grand per weekend. So on that projection, our clinic would yield us around 500K per year by only being opened on weekends and seeing that amount of patients. A 3-year projection here, very conservative numbers because I like to be very pragmatic, but we're hoping to hit $2 million in 3 years by expanding the amount of clinics and by also word to mouth and establishing a presence. My team, amazing girls and guys. So Irma, Kimberly, Julia are all ready. They're tried and tested dental assistants. They're ready to go in the sense that they know how to run a clinic. They know how to do a scan. It's something that we do ourselves in an everyday like dental clinic. They're fairly knowledgeable about that, and they understand the concept of our business. I've been working with them. They've been doing it as a volunteer base, but obviously the idea is to bring them on as paid staff. And Ryan here would be doing the computer side, so he would be behind the screen and remote work doing all of that, and I would be doing a lot of remote supervision mostly and coordinating the denture inspection and quality care and the case coordination too. The roadmap. So how we're going to get from A to the dream. The first thing is to establish an online presence and a local presence. So we're doing that through social media and also through the local community. We want to partner with really significant partners in the way that we operate things. For example, dental offices. As kind of a no-go, we like to go with dental hygienist offices. They, as of now in Ontario, don't need to operate with the dentist, so they have the location, and we'd like to partner with them inside almost in a symbiotic way because we can funnel patients towards them and they can also direct their patients towards us. So we would be using their location, kind of just putting our stuff there and then popping up every weekend and using one of their chairs. And our fourth way to achieve our goal is staff training. So I have really good staff, and just kind of like getting them used to the process and then rolling it like a well-oiled machine. So the ask, we're asking for 150K. A lot of it is illegal, just to kind of make sure that we're good and that we're kosher on every aspect of this dental practice. Marketing, a lot of it, just to get the word out. Equipment, not so much, but still for personal wages and also location rental. As of now, I own 100% of the share. There's no any dilutive. I've been bootstrapping all the way here, and so it's a very good moment to come into the company.
Lou, you've just muted. Oh,
Oh, okay.
there you go.
Okay,
Good.
so the dream is to partner up with a brick and mortar like Costco, and to be able to, well, they already have their optometrist, their hearing aids, so why not a denture center there? So, and that's my presentation. Thank you so much. I'll take any questions that you guys have.
Yay. Great job, Lou. You know what? It's awesome that you're dealing with tech issues now because it's not the investor pitch day. And we were just
Yeah.
learning at our last workshop about interruptions and how to manage that and body language, and you played it cool. So thank you so much for just diving in and starting over so quick. That was fantastic. You are at 15 minutes. So we're going to focus on getting that scaled back just by 3 and prep for the investor pitch day. But wonderful job! It's incredible to see the improvements and the advancement in your deck. So let's dive
Thank you.
into feedback. We'll start with Miriam. She's off mute, so I'm always going to pick on you when you're off mute.
Okay, no, that's fine. There are two things that are top of mind for me. Well, first of all, Lou, this is a brilliant idea. I love it. It tugs away at my heart. You're addressing a need that it definitely exists. So good for you for recognizing the need and addressing it. And you have the expertise. The things that worry me about the explosion of success of your business is you're the brains. You're running the consultation. They need you. So how do you scale? And how do you scale when you're trying to run a business? So being the expert as the dentist is on its own a scaling challenge. And doing that concurrently with running the business seems to me like a big challenge as well. That was my number one thing. Also, what would stop others from seeing your pop-up clinics and replicating that model? Those
That's
are
a
the
fairly
two top
valid question.
things.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's more barrier cost when it comes to barrier to entry, and also the expertise. They might be able to make dentures, but they'll never make dentures that fit as well as ours. Our staff is trained to a certain degree. It's called biofunctional dentures. We went to Japan to get the knowledge, so it's kind of like yes, of course, but they will never get the same quality, and that's also what we're gonna emphasize a lot in, like, yeah, you can get it cheaper, you can also get it by mail, but will you get that same quality that you're getting with us? And I'm looking also to, I know that I cannot be, I'll have to delegate. We're thinking of bringing denturist who is a very parallel professional to what we're doing right now, to hire them to do some of the online consultation. But a lot of the staff can be trained too. So like somebody can join Ryan to do the online consultation too. It's fairly straightforward. It's not that difficult to kind of answer the question once you know what you're talking about.
Do you think there's a possibility for you to expand to every community across Canada at some point in the future? Is that a possibility?
Yes, I believe so, because anywhere that has a denturist college or even dental assistant, like it's very much possible, because it's really the legality of things. I'm not really there as much as it's a legal requirement for me to be somewhat present in the clinic and supervise, but my assistants are able to deliver those dentures even without me. And that's what's really common with dental clinics too. Like a lot of times they just do the job and the dentist is present.
Okay. I should let Alec, he's more experienced with this business side.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Lou. It was
I
love your enthusiasm as always.
Thank you.
Fantastic improvement over the last time I saw you. So that's great news. Fantastic. Got to get over those technical glitches, but anyway, that's just life. Yeah, I thought the overall presentation at the beginning with the steps was fantastic. The demo picture and the video, huge improvement. So whoever helped you get that together in the last week. That's great. Big improvement. Really helped kind of understand it. I mean, I do think it would have been better if there was some teeth missing in the picture of the mouth. But still, that just really helped. I did also think, you know, your steps, you had the 1, 2, 3, was the third was deliver, but I think maybe the third step is really the manufacturing of the dentures. You know, because yeah, you have to print them or something, or mill them, I guess, and then deliver them. So some clarity on the delivery. I wasn't 100% sure whether that was to mail them to them, or to for them to come back to the clinic, how that was going to happen. So some clarity there would be good. And then yeah, the actual creating of the dentures. You know, one of my concerns there, similar to Miriam, is what's the barrier to entry? Is this technology that you're buying from somebody? Like, you have some machines there, or are you going to a lab that's producing these? Are you buying those machines? Is there a capital cost associated with that? You mentioned there's this biofunctional thing, which sounds like a great comment. Get that into the pitch, right? Like, there's something special that you've trained in Japan for. That's fantastic. So you need to mention that. You also mentioned later on partnering with another doctor for the milling. So that's not 100% clear what's happening in that area there.
Yeah, we're still working on that.
Yeah, I understand. It's all in motion. You mentioned dentists are a dying profession. Yeah, don't do that.
Right.
That just raises questions as to, well, why? Is it because it's all going online and there's technology? You know, frankly, you know, with the competition being based in the US, I don't see that as a disadvantage. I mean, if you're mailing it in anyways, that's not really a disadvantage. I think you got to flip that, you know, that they're not doing the mobile clinic. You know, if the mobile clinic's important, then that's your advantage. So view it from that perspective rather than where they're located, because I think nowadays people don't really care where they buy the technology from. Another interesting thing is you mentioned way at the beginning that it's repeat business, so that you need to have your dentures replaced. That's very important for investors. They want to know that once you sign somebody up and deliver good service, granted it may be 5 years down the road, but they're going to come back. I mean, that's going to support your argument that the growth curve is going to go, sorry, up to the right. I'm not sure which way you can see me, but it's going to go in the right way. So, you know, because this is transactional business. I deal with that in my business right now. It's not a SaaS platform with monthly recurring revenue, which people like. This is transactional. So the fact that you do have repeat business coming back is an important thing to mention when you lay out your business model. I think, yeah, you know, the team didn't show any marketers or developers. I mean, you presumably need to create a website. You need to get the scheduling and the booking. So it's good that the roadmap included the marketing in there, but I didn't really see any development or software development, which also, you know, is going to be competitive advantage for you. And marketing is very important.
Is it acceptable to just say that we will allocate some of the funds to start a marketing campaign with a marketing company instead of us handling that?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, that's possible. You know, I would not underestimate the challenge of establishing a brand and doing that. So some kind of plan where you picked a first city to establish yourself in. So local marketing, you know, like you mentioned, going to retirement homes and stuff like that, that's good. I don't know if really you're going to do that through a marketing agency or hire somebody to do that yourself. But yeah, those are all questions that would need to be answered, because doing a full online digital marketing campaign to establish your brand, like, that's really expensive, takes a lot of time, and is really hard to do. So if you can have a plan that's kind of city by city and expand out and do more local things, which you have to do because it's a mobile clinic anyways, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I'm not exactly an expert on, you know, on advertising channels from a local city perspective, but I think it's going to be a bit more straightforward compared to doing something totally online. I mean, you did have those components in your roadmap, so that's good. But yeah, I think there would be follow-on questions around that. So But yeah, in general, I love your enthusiasm. Big improvement. The slides have gotten better. I think it's more clear your differentiator, what you're trying to do. You've gone away from the kind of low income market that you talked about before. It's perfectly fine with your story at the beginning, talking about that's how you came across it. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's gotten much better. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I just have one more question, Lou. You don't have to answer, but have you given any consideration to selling the business at some point, and what would it take for you to do that and focus on the technical aspects? Just food for thought.
Yeah, actually, I did, but I don't have a number at head because
That's okay.
I have a. But yes, I wouldn't mind doing that at all.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we have a couple more minutes. So the other thing I'll just mention, and I've either directly or indirectly mentioned this, is that our founders only have 12 minutes to deliver their pitch. So Miriam and Alec, if you have any feedback on how Lou might reduce her, maybe not the content, but perhaps her delivery, if you have any feedback on how to tighten up that time, perhaps you could share.
I mean, Lou kind of makes some flourishes around your discussion, and you go off track a little bit because you want to, I can't remember the examples exactly, but you kind of talk about certain things, and then like when you said, denturists are a dying profession, that was kind of like a sidetrack. So yeah, you got to just stick to the script a little bit more. I mean, I can see it's part of your enthusiasm and your personality, so it's hard to suppress that. But yeah, in the end, you have a story that should be pretty well scripted out, which would cut back a number of minutes.
And perhaps when talking about the team, you're the core essence of the team. Everybody else is like helpers you can get from anywhere. So maybe dwell a little less on that. I don't know, Alec, what do you think?
Yeah, sure. That's reasonable.
Perfect.
Appreciate that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you all for your feedback. I'll stop the recording for now.